welcome back to another episode of Geeking Around. I'm Louis Mihael, and I just got done watching episode 1 and 2 of Obi-Wan. So we're going to talk a little bit about that and give you my false impressions or false reaction to the series and give you my thoughts on it. We are going to be getting into spoilers, so if you have not watched it yet, this is your warning. Make sure you subscribe when I do the review of it after the series have ended, and let's get into it. So yeah, I thought it was pretty good. It's kind of hard to judge when you just watch 2 episodes, and it's still setting up everything. I thought it was pretty decent. I can see I have read some comments on like social media and stuff, and some no criticism, and I can see where people are getting that, but I think for the most part, I think people are gonna enjoy it for the most part. Of course, Ewan McGregor does a great job. I think he does a good job doing like bridging that gap between the prequel Obi-Wan and the original trilogy Obi-Wan, and I think we're going to see more and more of that, of them bridging that gap. And once we go through the next couple of episodes, I do hope we get some more action stuff. There was a little bit of action, but mainly blast-ons and them running, being chased and stuff. I know that we heard from the leaks that there's going to be an Obi-Wan and Darth Vader fight, so that I'm sure that's going to be pretty epic. So we just gotta wait for it. Yeah, there's not much to really talk about when it's just the first 2 episodes. I know people said that there was like talking about the action stuff. We just got into it, so I think we probably gonna see a lot more action as we go through the series. Hopefully we do, though. One thing I saw that I have some criticism about is the cinematography and the editing, especially the editing. It just seems so amateurish, film school stuff, like stuff that you would see people do that who still in film school or just freshly from film school. One thing is they always teach you when you're editing is when someone is talking, you change camera angles, but still they are talking. So you show them talking, then you change camera angles and it shows something else, and it's still them talking. And that happens a lot in this, and to me, when I see stuff like that, it shows to me that the editors probably just came right out of film school. Yeah, it's a good technique, but it's not something you continue to use over and over again. And they did that in like almost every single cut, and they can make it look a little weird. It does to me anyways. And some of the cinematography choices was weird to me as well. Like there would be parts where the camera will be kind of tilted, almost in that scary movie kind of way, to give it an unsettling feel. But it wasn't really, the scene wasn't for that, and I'm not quite sure why they would do that. There was a lot of different cinematography choices that was very weird to me, that I'm not sure why they chose those cinematography. Also, please direct on cinematographers, get a tripod. They don't cost that much, really. They don't. Especially in Tatooine, they're using a Steadicam, and they just, even with a Steadicam, it's still kind of shaky a bit. And to me, I think it just loses the attention because you're not steady and focusing on the subject, because you're shaking so much. And Steadicams, I just feel like is overused too much. But yeah, for the most part, all the acting was pretty good. Rupert Friend, who plays the Grand Inquisitor, doesn't sound nothing like the Grand Inquisitor, and he still has that very round face and stuff. The sound and look isn't nothing like from the animated series, Star Wars not the Clone Wars, but Star Wars Rebels. But I still think he did a pretty good job at it. Unfortunately, we didn't see very much of him. he ended up dying in the second episode, and that, like, oh well, that kind of sucked. Like, was like the main villain and Rebels, and then you just killed him off like that. I thought that was kind of, they killed him off a little bit too soon. But yeah, they didn't fix. It's weird because, like, I did watch Revenge of the Sith last night before watching this, and you see the same type of species in Revenge of the Sith, where they have the look, this, how they supposed to look, because that's where we all see them. And so I'm not sure why they didn't make the heads elongated like it was in Revenge of the Sith. So that again, one of those weird CGI or prosthetic choices that a lot of these TV shows keep happening, especially on Disney Plus. Another good example is She-Hulk trailer that just came out not too long ago. How that CGI was just god awful, and of course everyone's like, oh well, this is just a trailer, they have time to fix it. But how many times have they actually fixed it? People say the same thing about this Grand Inquisitor. But other than that, I think a lot of we only really saw three places, because it was on Alderaan, Tatooine, Alderaan, and Daya, I think that's how I pronounce it. And each one looked pretty good. I think the CGI are pretty decent. Nothing, mind-blowing or anything like that. Going back to the acting, it's so hard not having a script here. I know a lot of people talk about Morrison Ingram. I agree with a lot of the people criticism of her. I think she was trying too hard. A little bit of overacting. I know these characters are pretty much like comic book characters, but like, or cartoon characters, but this is a live action adaptation, and she kind of, to me, was acting more like to a theater, maybe, where you kind of have to overact, or maybe even cartoon acting or voice acting, if you will. To me, I hope we don't see as much as all in the next, because I didn't really find her that interesting. This is a problem when they do characters like this, where they, these diversity characters, and then they end up not really being well written and stuff, and can't really blame the actors because they just wasn't well written. They just was thrown into it. But yeah, overall, like I said, I think this was a good start. One thing, speaking of the start, they did a little recap of the prequel trilogy, and I felt like they didn't really need to do that. And then we end up having a sequence when Teachon was teaching some younglings, and Order 66 happens, and I'm guessing those younglings, because it was like 5 of them or so, or maybe I should go back and check on this, but I think these are the ones that grew up to be the Grand Inquisitors, because I don't know why we focused on that, and it was weird, like I said, to have that recap at the very beginning. Then we finally went into Obi-Wan, and so I feel like they didn't really need that. Thought that was just, again, a weird, odd choice for it. But yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I really hope the rest of the series becomes better. These first 2 episodes was pretty good. But yeah, we have to see. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Leave a comment and tell me what you thought of the series so far. And make sure you like and subscribe. Like I said, I will have a review of the whole season after episode 6 that came out, and probably will do a Stranger Things season 4 review, and that one I can easily binge watch and get the review out soon. Although I do like the whole, with Disney Plus, they always do an episode each week. I think it builds anticipation when you do that, if the episodes or the season is good. But yeah, again, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.